I'm Erica Gorman, and this is Christen Craig, and we're doing our book summary 3 on The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg.
Social habits were a big topic in this part of the book, and they are behaviors that occur unthinkingly, affecting many people, and the people which are often hard to see as they emerge, but contain a power that can change the world. Social habits are what protesters, for example, who may not know one another, who might be marching for different reasons, but who are all moving in the same directions. Social habits are affected by the expectations of their friends and the peer pressure of their acquaintances. There's a lot of power in social habits. In order to change these habits, we must understand what drives them.
And then the second question is discussing the methods of habit change in communities. Social habits are influenced by the expectations of friends and the peer pressure of their acquaintances. There is a lot of power in social habits, and in order to change habits, one must understand what drives social habits, and that can be strong ties of friendship and weak ties of peer pressure. As they merge, they create an incredible momentum, and that is when widespread social change can begin. Social habits are why some ideas become world-changing movements and why others fail to ever start. The reason why social habits have so much influence is because the base of many movements is a 3-part process that historians and sociologists say shows up again and again. The process is, number 1, a movement starts because of social habits and friendships and strong ties between close acquaintances. Number 2, it grows because of habits of the community and the weak ties that hold neighborhoods together. And number 3, it continues because of a movement's leaders give individuals involved new habits that create a fresh sense of identity and feeling of ownership. Usually when all 3 of these parts of the process are fulfilled, can a movement actually become self-propelling and reach a critical mass. For an idea to grow beyond a community, it must become self-propelling. The surest way to achieve this is to give people new habits to help them figure out where to go from there on their own. An example of that was the community rally with Rosa Parks, and protested that day to not ride on the buses for a day. Peer pressure from those within the community helped this boycott and large-scale world-changing movement to begin.
So movements don't emerge because everyone suddenly decides to face the same direction at once. They rely on social patterns that begin as habits of friendship, grow through the habits of the communities, and are sustained by new habits that change the participant's sense of self. Habits can be changed as long as we know how the habit function is understood. In order to change the habit, the individual must decide to do so, consciously accepting the work that must go into identifying the cues and rewards that engage the habit, and finding alternatives must occur. Having control and being self-conscious and using that control is a must in order to change the habit of the community. We use this example because about 10 years ago, it seemed like everybody was smoking, and they started all these anti-tobacco, anti-smoking campaigns. You see the commercials, you see the ads. New laws have changed that don't allow smoking in a lot of places, can't advertise smoking. So through the community participation, nonprofit organizations, health providers educating people on the dangers and risks of smoking, there's been a massive change. Less people are smoking now than 10 years ago. And a lot of this is due to forcing individuals to look at their own cues and rewards, which there are not a lot of rewards to smoking. And then the education on the negative effects of smoking has made people have more control, put pressure on others, and now a lot of the peer pressure is the opposite. You shouldn't smoke versus, hey, have a cigarette. And that has propelled this change to continue and go forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.